Welcome to the School of Radiance podcast. I'm your host, Rachel, a humble human on a mission, here to help you both look and feel your best. And for those of you longtime listeners, I've been sharing my journey of getting enough protein, lifting heavy, and I thought it would be very fitting to actually have a relatively well-known on social media, really fun bodybuilder here on the show to actually talk about the importance of getting that muscle mass on. I'm also going to be talking about how, in my opinion, working out like a bodybuilder is the way to go to get that muscle mass on and get those results pretty quickly. Not to mention, in the biohacking world, we think peptides and stacking supplements and testing instead of guessing, looking at hormones, looking at labs. Bodybuilders are the OGs in this space. So we have Sergei joining us today. He's known online as 50% Natty. Really fun. He is the 50% Natty owner. We're going to talk about what Natty means as well for those of you who are not familiar with the bodybuilding world. And he is a 20-year plus gym enthusiast and 3-time NPC competitor. So this is going to be a super fun episode. We're going to kind of break down the barriers that you might have to stepping into the gym and realizing just how exciting the bodybuilding community actually is for helping you get to your results and hitting those PRs. Welcome to the show. Sergei, how are you today? And of course, what is Radiance to you?
Hi, Rachel. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Radiance to me is someone that's true to themselves and doesn't need much things to make them happy. You know, just they find things in life that make them happy throughout the day, and they don't rely on the materialistic things.
Love it. So thinking about that, what makes me happy is my end of the day, end of the work day gym sesh. Roll up to the gym, say hey, fist pump all my training partners, and we just get into it. We figure out what we're working on that day. Usually we have a plan. So that's what brings me joy, is living my purpose throughout the day and then getting to the gym. And I've been out of town the last couple of days going to another gym. So I miss my training partners and I'm going to get to see them today. So share with us, Sergei, just how prevalent. Well, first of all, let's talk about Natty. For those of you tuning into the show, you might not have ever heard of that. Explain what is being Natty all about.
Okay, so being natty is a short word. It's a short term for the word natural. So I use it as a funny play on. I say I am 50% natty, which is I'm half natural, which obviously you can't be. You're either natural or you're not. But I use it as a play on word and have fun with it. Yeah.
And then what does being not natty mean?
Be not natty. Well, so everybody is different now. So in my opinion, is you're enhanced in the gym lifestyle. We use the word natty a lot. Are you natty? Are you not? And not natty is someone enhanced, someone that's dabbled with steroids or any types of other enhancers, such as peptides, even possibly, or even SARMs. So it's just whatever you think you can be natural. But most of the time, the fine line is within perform anything that can give you a performance enhancement to a massive scale.
Mm-hmm. So for those of you who are like, what does natty mean? When you start to work out and you see all these gym means, that's what he's talking about. So when it comes to the bodybuilding community, I would say that you all are the OG biohackers. So walk us through where kind of stacking and peptide stacking were maybe 10, 20 years ago and where they're at now to help us get results in the gym fast.
Yeah, as far as peptide goes, so people don't realize what peptides actually. People say, "Oh, well, what's the difference between steroids and peptides?" And I'm going to tell you the main difference, and it's very easy. Steroids are generic synthetic form of hormones that you're injecting into yourself, or not injecting. You could be oral, whatever, ingesting into yourself. And peptides, all peptides do is boost your natural levels. So they'll do something to your system to create a natural reaction to make you produce more of a certain hormone. So that's the difference between a peptide and a steroid. So peptides back in the day, I believe they weren't as popular as they are now. Now they are literally everywhere. Everyone is talking about it, talking about them, and most people are taking them because they do um, make a difference. That's for sure. And some people say, well, I don't want to go the enhanced route, the non-natural route, and I'll just stick to peptide route. So to them, they still consider themselves as natural because they're taking peptides to boost their natural hormone levels.
So, for those of you tuning into the show, 15 pounds of muscle in about 8 months is what I've been able to achieve. And I've done it the Natty way, although taking baking soda, a teaspoon of baking soda as a pre workout is actually banned in a certain athletic.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard that baking soda is even considered doping.
Interesting. I
Mhm.
didn't know that. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I've heard. I've never actually done baking soda as a pre-workout, but it makes sense because it's pretty much carbonated, so it creates a bigger, better pump in your body. But you have to really be careful with how much you take because you could really, if you ingest too much, you could really mess up your stomach and you'll be full on bloat and gassy at the gym, which you don't want.
Yeah, just don't mix it with lemon. A little basic anesthetic. Don't do that. I did that once. Anyways, um, so we have other things that are also going to work and really helped me out, which was hitting 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight and playing around with typically 3 to 5 grams of creatine a day. And then I
Wow.
did also bump that up to about 10 to 20. So this is the
Wow.
do as I say, not as I do for those of you listening. But it
Yeah.
works. It really helped give me the energy and get that muscle mass on. But one of the things I'd love to hear from you is for you. You know, you're this really big, strong guy. Clearly, you've been working out for a couple of decades now. And what is it like when you see a woman who's kind of at the start of her fitness journey and she's really interested and she's really motivated and she's showing up? I know in my experience, I've had the bodybuilding community in my local gym really take me in and encourage me to train with them and have really kind of pushed me. But what is it like for you when you see a newcomer?
Okay. Let me ask you a question. First before that. Okay. What right now? Would you agree that the fitness industry is the most popular it's ever been?
Yeah, absolutely, especially with all the information coming out now about muscle mass tied to longevity.
Yes. So right now, like fitness industry is huge, like the biggest ever. 10 years ago or however long ago, right now, it's at its peak, and it's only going up. Right? You agree?
Hmm.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
I would say the aesthetics. Some people are going to be surface level driven of wanting to look good in their bathing suit, be confident jumping in the pool with their kids, but also so they don't have to use a walker when they're in their 70s and 80s and they can be a little bit more independent.
Yes, very true. Great points. Mostly aesthetics, of course. No, you're absolutely right. But in my opinion, there's two main reasons. One, obviously, growth of social media. Everybody can video themselves, put themselves out there. But the biggest reason for me that the fitness industry is so huge right now is one word: women. Women right now, every woman is going to the gym not to do cardio. They're going there to squat, deadlift, bench press, arm curl, military press, whatever. They are lifting some heavy ass weight. And man, and wherever there's women go, men are gonna follow. Right? So right now the fitness industry is at its peak because, in my opinion, of women. It's the most popular it's ever been. So I'm all for it. I love seeing women newcomers at the gym. I'm always there to give them tips, to help them out. There's nothing better for me to do that. Even they don't have to be women. Any newcomer, I love helping. But women especially, there's no better motivation than seeing a woman go in there and lift some heavy ass weight. And I'm so happy that they're out of the mindset where they're afraid to put on muscle mass. And right now, women are like, hell yeah, give me some fucking biceps, give me some tree trunk legs. Like it's amazing. I'm so happy they're out of that like the 1980s, 1990s skinny model look with huge fake boobs. Like, oh, who was into that? I was never into that. I didn't know one person that was into that. Like, nobody wants a skinny, unhealthy looking woman or men for sakes. Like, I love muscle on a woman. Like, absolutely.
Love
So it's
this.
great. It's awesome seeing that come to light this day and age.
Perfect. So we're getting into the layer of attraction. And
Yeah.
in my opinion, when I see someone crushing a ton of weight, it signals to me that their metabolism is revved up. They have really great ATP production, their cellular health, their minerals, their nutrients, they're on point, and they have energy to get through life and lift heavy things. And that also signals that they're going to be more capable to overcome different obstacles and be more resilient because their body is literally stronger. There's a massive component that comes with being able to push yourself to failure when you're in a set and not being afraid, be like, oh, I'm almost there on the shoulder press or bench or whatever you're doing. But you push yourself to that limit. And what's really cool about the bodybuilding community is I was actually at a new gym yesterday and I was doing sleds and I was just doing a warm up with just 145 plate. And then I worked up to about 545 plates. And there was a trainer there and he saw me put the one on. He looked at me, never seen me before, a new gym. He's like, you can do more than that. And there's this psychological moment that happens when you start to lift weight and you lift way heavier than you ever thought you could. And it's just this confidence boost. And being confident is a huge component to being attractive and being desirable and that confidence in yourself. So, walk me through what you've seen in your journey and also maybe even some of your training partners' journey when you start to hit those PRs.
Oh yeah. So going back to the confidence thing, um, weightlifting, bodybuilding has completely changed my life. When I was a little kid growing up, I was very into basketball, but I was completely shy kid. I'm not even making this up. In high school, I literally had no friends at all. I would walk around lunch pretending I had something to do because um, I just I didn't have any friends to sit with. So I would just walk around the school pretending I was walking around because I was afraid, people would see me sitting alone and eating lunch. That's how low my confidence was. Um, Basketball helped a little bit with that, but it was only on the basketball court where I can be confident in myself. It wasn't until one day, working for an after school care program, one of my friends was really into working out and he was constantly talking about into working out. And then he asked me, "Hey, Sergey, why don't you work out?" And I'm like, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe I should start. And he's like, "Yeah, maybe you should." I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a try." And I started working out primarily for basketball purposes as well. Figured it'll help my basketball game. And the confidence that I gained, because you can walk around anywhere with that confidence. You put on 10 pounds of muscle, automatic confidence just skyrockets. And I'm like, holy shit. That whole year that I first, or within 2 years that I started training, my confidence skyrocketed. I got my first girlfriend at the time. It was just amazing, wonderful things that just by going to the gym, what it did for me and my mental health. And I would encourage anybody to do it.
Let's talk about the hormone exchange that happens when men and women train together in a very respectful way. That's what I love about my training partners. It's very respectful. They see me showing up. I see them showing up. We know when we take rest days and when we can push each other a little bit harder and things like that. But let's talk about the hormone exchange when we're actually in the gym, we're lifting heavy, we're hitting those PRs. What are some of the things that you notice, say, when you are training by yourself and having a solo session, or when you're with your bros, or when there's a girl in the mix? What's going on there with the dynamics?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I've trained. I train solo. I've trained with gym bros, and I've trained with girlfriends, ex girlfriends in the past. Um, yes, by far, my best workouts were training with a girlfriend, with the female by my side. It just does something to the dopamine in your body that it's like not only you have to, it's not like, oh, I'm going to show off for her, but it just does something to you where it puts you in such a good mood most of the time, um when she's not nagging you. I'm kidding. But the dopamine just skyrockets, and when that happens, when you're in a good place mentally and you go to the gym, um you're hitting PRs left and right, and you're getting an amazing pumps. Yeah.
So, behind the scenes, what's happening when we're kind of in a community, both the men and the women in a group setting or just, as a couple, where you're getting an exchange of testosterone boost, dopamine boost, oxytocin boost, and a little bit of serotonin. And I'm a huge fan of, well, what can we do in our daily lives, in our daily lives with how can we modulate our hormones without actually taking anything to do it? And I would say that that exchange is just such a great way to get that boost to actually lift heavier. And I said this to my training buddies one day. It's like, having me around is actually good for your testosterone. And they're like, yeah, I can tell. Like, we train well together. So that's kind of like a bit of a not a well-known fact that there is a hormonal exchange when men and women have that those training days together. I want to
and
ask you.
and not to cut you off there, but yeah, there's been plenty of times where I'd go to a gym, and there's literally like, no, when men say, oh, there's no motivation there, you know what that means? There's no women there. That's what they're talking about. So that gym is dead. There's no motivation there. There's no women there. Women give you motivation. That's the point I'm trying to say, is going back to like how women are so getting into lifting weights and bodybuilding. Men are going to follow. So it's absolutely a game changer when there's women just lifting heavy weight near you in the same gym.
What is it like when you're training with a woman and she ends up lifting as heavy as you can?
Well, that I mean, me personally,
Maybe
I'm a
not you
big guy.
personally, but maybe some
That
of your other gym partners,
that
especially with legs.
yeah, I'm a big guy. I'm right now I'm 255. Um, that never happen. I'll be like, if a woman lifted more than me, I'll be like, wow. I'll just like, my eyes will be bugged out, and I'm like, my mouth like this, and I'll be total amazement, and yeah, I'll total applaud for her. But when I do train and I see a woman, um, when I train with women and I see them go really hard, like push themselves to the limit of complete failure, and I'm just like, yes, this is how you should train. This is how you're gonna see results. It's not just like, I can't train with someone, and I've trained before where it's like, or like, they kind of just like lollygag with the weights, and whenever they feel slight pain, they kind of like, okay, I'm done. Like, no, that you're just getting started. So yes, I want to see women lifting some heavy weights.
I'm glad you mentioned pain because I was in two really rough car crashes, and only
Oh,
just 8 months ago did I actually feel like I need to go to the gym. So this is kind of my story behind the scenes. I need to go to the gym. I'm frail. I was in really good shape, tons of personal training, bikini fitness shoots beforehand. I was like, I can barely open a jar. My grip strength had just completely gone out the window. So I knew that something had to change. And when you mentioned pain, I would much rather feel the pain of failure when lifting heavy and muscle soreness
Mm-hmm.
than feeling headaches and pain in my neck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my driver. And for a lot of you that might be dealing with pain in your body, like obviously be careful with your joints, especially your shoulders when you're starting to work out and all these things, your back, make sure that you have your okay by your doc and are doing things appropriately and with good form. But that's kind of my mindset is I'd rather push hard so that I don't feel other pain in my body, but the pain that I do feel I know is constructive. Have you heard that a lot?
Oh yeah. I mean, if for me in general, if I'm not sore after a workout, I'm questioning like, what did I even work out? Like, did I do it right? Like, what didn't I do right? Why am I not sore in that specific area that I trained? So, yes. And most bodybuilders, I think they're kind of like a, what do you say, a macho's thing? What's that word called where you're into pain? Is it
Oh, like
sadist?
masochism.
Masochist. There you go. Yeah. Um, I think in a way they're kind of like that, and they kind of live for it. And if you truly unravel and you go deep inside a bodybuilder's mind, um, it's usually down the line some tragic, or most of the time something has happened to them where they are masking a even deeper pain with muscle pain, for instance. So they love the feeling of muscle soreness, the pump pain, the lactic acid buildup pain. I know I love it. So
Yeah, I do too. And in a way, I actually feel that it's a healthier type of getting that adrenaline hit. When you hit a PR, you're going to failure, you're in that gym community, than say doing something reckless.
yes, yeah, absolutely.
So, talking about pain, when your muscles are sore, as biohackers, we're key on recovery. Beauty, sleep is super important. And when it comes to the bodybuilding world and community, recovery is not new. So, what are some of your favorite things to recover after your gym sessions?
A good massage, deep tissue massage always helps. That's one of the things. Getting the right food in your system, the whole throughout the day, before training, after training, is probably more important as far as aesthetic goes, to bodybuilding than actual training. Training, don't get me wrong, training is extremely important and it's fun, but actually eating and getting the right nutrition is really, really important. So eating food, taking care of your body, sleep, absolutely, and try. Very important to sleep. Getting a good routine, and try. Also, one of the most important things is stress. You have to try to diminish stress in your life, because when you have the buildup of stress, your cortisol builds up, your hormones could get out of whack. In my opinion, stress underlined is one of the biggest killers in the world today. It just relates to many other diseases. So as long as you try to minimize your stress, you'll be okay.
You hit on some really key things. I'll share a couple things I do for recovery. After a training session, you got to eat within about 20-30 minutes. You got to be having protein. I drink a ton of water during my workouts, probably consuming about 1.5 to 2 liters of water with some electrolytes in there as well. Hitting the sauna has been really instrumental for recovery. Ice baths are a little better, more for endurance, but when you're looking at putting on muscle fast, the heat, the sauna, the deep tissue massage, all of that. Sleep, super key, right? We need time for our muscles to repair because we're basically ripping them apart. And I love that you mentioned stress and keeping cortisol down. Some of my bodybuilder friends said, hey, yeah, when you're in a relationship, you're going to have better gains because the cortisol is lower. And going to the
Mm-hmm.
gym in and of itself is just such a great stress release for me. It's like end of the
Mm-hmm.
workday, do the workout, enjoy the evening, and focus on recovery and quality time together. What are some of your ways that you like to reduce stress in your life for better gains?
Hanging out with my kids. Enjoying some time with my kids. Making comedy. I love that's one of my things I grew up in is comedy. I love making it. I love watching it. And just hanging out with friends inside and when I get a chance outside of the gym as well.
Love it. So living a life of passion, you're here to, raise that vibe through comedy online. I think your page is hilarious, which is how I found you
Thank
and I
you.
started following you. So I think that's fantastic. And
It's a bit.
one
It's
of
a bit. It's a bit dark. My comedy. I'm not gonna lie,
yeah,
sugarcoat it, but um, I like to push the line.
a little bit of a disruptor. So super curious, from a man's perspective, what are you going to find more attractive? The frail one or the strong one?
I mean, there's not even a doubt. The strong woman, of course.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And what I'm alluding to is men who are strong are also going to want to be met with a strong partner too.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
And what would you say about the men who say they love the look of the cardio bunnies?
Um, they're probably stuck in the '90s. I don't know. I don't know any men that love a cardio bunny. Every guy I know loves a girl that loves to train. I mean, yeah, I don't know any men that would love a cardio bunny.
Of course you don't.
There's
I
nothing
mean,
there's nothing wrong with cardio. Don't get me wrong, but you got to add some weight to it. I mean, doing cardio is not going to build muscle. In fact, it's going to make you lose muscle mass, and it's going to give you a look that's not, especially in this day and age, that's not sexy. I mean, you're going to lose your butt. You're going to lose everything. It's just going to get your skin gets soggy because you don't have the tight muscle to fill it. You got to weight train this day and age. You have to.
yeah,
It's what's appealing.
I totally agree. In the medical aesthetics world, runners have what's called a runner's face. Very gaunt, they don't have much fat, but they're kind of like frail and they tend to lose a lot of collagen and elastin because they're working out outside, typically running, without their skincare or their sunscreen. And when it comes to putting on muscle, when is the best time to get the cardio in? Before lifting weights or after lifting weights?
A lot of definitely not before, in my opinion. I mean, some people I know, it just everybody's different, and I know people that do cardio, fasted cardio, in the morning, and then they'll lift weights later in the day, which is okay. And if it works for them, great. But from what I know, is you want to get the hardest part, get the most energy out on the weightlifting first and then do some cardio after. So whether it's right after the workout, steady state cardio, nothing crazy, or even save the cardio for a different day that's completely not weight training.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of using my ATP stores to lift heavy, as heavy
Lift
as I
heavy.
can.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely lift heavy. And then end on like the assault bike, for example, or cycling for about 20 minutes or so. I used to do the 45 minutes on elliptical, and I wasn't getting results from that from sprinting alone. I had to add the lifting heavy. And for women, we have an interesting difference with kind of what we can do and what our bodies can manage. And a lot of women are really driven to have more glutes. So the kind of joke in the gym world is women are always doing legs at the gym, and then the guys are always doing upper body and they barely do legs. So that is the difference that we're seeing with what you would consider like the workout split between the ladies and the gents. There are some differences in some of the body groups that we're training. But what do you have to say to women who are maybe a little bit nervous about training upper body?
Yeah, most of the time, the fear that women have is they're going to look like a man. They don't want to get too bulky up top. Um, and 99.9% that's not going to happen unless you're some genetic freak and you can build muscle really fast. Then amazing, you can be a women's bodybuilder. But most of the time, that's not the case at all. And you're seeing that more and more where women are taking upper body day serious. If probably you're right, maybe like 5-10 years ago, where every woman, they're always on the hip thrust machine, is like a whole line, and you ask a woman, hey, what's your favorite body part to train, and they'll say glutes, they'll say legs. Now you ask women what their favorite body part to say, and a lot of them will um, answer all over the board. They'll say, I love training arms. I love training shoulders, back. So you're seeing it more and more where women are training different body parts and they want the complete package look, not just well-defined muscular legs, but the whole package as well. And same
Yeah.
thing goes for guys, where guys, it's like, oh, back in the day, oh, you skip leg day. Now, um, guys are making an emphasis to build up their legs and really take leg day seriously.
Mm-hmm. And I have to say, since I was able to start training upper body back again, I love having well-defined shoulders,
Yeah.
tight core, well-defined back, a little bit of chest. It really helps with the front where your arm and your chest meet to have a little bit of that definition as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to it looking saggy, training those lats, um, and doing actually a lot of what I like to do are compound movements.
Mm-hmm.
So, talk to us about some of the benefits of doing compound movements as well as maybe doing some splits. Like, say, yesterday I did shoulders and triceps. The day before that, I did legs
Mm-hmm.
and back. But adding something called compound movements that's going to train your core at the same
Mm-hmm.
time and kind of get you working multiple muscle groups. What are some of your favorite compound movements for kind of like that everyday strength?
Mm-hmm. Um, yes. So compounds, to each their own, right? Some people just only do compounds, and some people kind of just focus on isolation, and some people do both compounds and isolation. I like to do both. I like to do some compound lifts, and also some isolations. I think most people prefer that. But yeah, compound lifts are very important. One, if you have a short time frame of working out, you can literally go in a gym, do two or three or even two compound lifts, and if you do them right, you're done. That can be your full workout if you do these compound lift rights. Um, some of my best, today I don't really do that much compound lifts, due to my joints. I don't want to hurt my joints or whatnot, but I still do some. One of my favorites is, I call it the upright row into a military press. It's a compound. It's probably one of my favorite shoulder workouts, where I'll take the bar. I try not to use my legs at all, and I'll upright row it. I'll get right under the bar and I'll press it. And that's one of my. I did that today actually, and that's one of my favorite compound shoulder movements. So yeah, and compounds are that that should be your base when you're starting, is doing compounds, because that's where you build your base into working out. And then once you get a little bit advanced and you got those compounds down, then you could start including some isolation movements as well.
Hmm. And so, for those of you tuning in, we go through life. I've been in a couple car crashes. You might have had some other like shoulder or knee injury or hip injury, something going on. It's okay to modify what you're doing. So,
Yes.
for me to modify, I can't do any weight. I can't do the bar on my upper back. So, there goes squats with the bar. Well, What do you do instead? You do goblet squats. You do RDLs with the bar. So I don't do good mornings either. So, but there's so many other back exercises that you can do. So I think it's a good idea to do an initial session with a personal trainer to kind of give you the rundown and give you some modifications. But what I will say, and personal trainers might not like me for saying this, but I don't think that personal trainers are going to push you as hard as making friends with the guys at the gym who are the bodybuilders. And I saw this firsthand. I led my girlfriend through one of my upper body, shoulder, tricep workouts. She's like, wow, when I worked out with a personal trainer, I never worked this hard to failure, and I was never this sore afterwards. And because the personal trainers, they want you to come back, so they're not really going to push you as hard as really pushing and pulling to failure. That's actually going to be what gives you that muscle hypertrophy and that muscle growth, and doing things slower and doing as heavy as you can go. And it's really fun when you start to hit those PRs, which otherwise known as personal records. And then you start to see that all the work that you've been putting in, that dedication, that discipline, you're like, wow, I am getting stronger. You look in the mirror, you see that muscle definition. And one of the things I want to kind of close things off with here is when you see in public, say you enter a room, or even when you enter the room, Sergei, how do people respond to you being this really jacked, strong looking man? And how do you respond to other people that you can tell work out?
Mm-hmm. Let me just go back and a couple points to what you just said before I answer this question. Yes, personal trainers are probably not going to push as hard because one, they're trying to play it safe. You know, they don't want to risk any injury on you. They don't want you to they want you to have a good workout, have fun, and come back and do it again, right? Whereas, you know, you're working out with a gym bro, he's gonna push you to failure. He's gonna like, yeah, get those fucking muscles sore, and then cry tomorrow. I don't give a shit. You know, where a personal trainer is like, he's afraid, oh, you might get too sore and then you'll never come back. You know, so there's that liability issue with that. And going back to your other point, as far as injuries, yes, injuries are part of bodybuilding. They're part of any sport. And yes, with bodybuilding, the good thing is, like, let's say you're injured, or with a different sport, like say basketball, for instance, you injure yourself, you twist an ankle, you're out the game. You can't play basketball. I mean, you can just stand there and shoot, maybe practice, but that's it. You can't play basketball. As far as bodybuilding, you injure something, you can go into a different exercise and tweak it and still get a good workout in, but because by not doing what you're normally doing, but you're still targeting the specific muscle group. And it happened to me one day. I was away and I was in a high altitude. I was in North Carolina and it was high altitude, and I wasn't used to the altitude. And I was training legs, and I went into a leg press machine. And long story short, I went too heavy on it and I tweaked my back. So my lower back was completely fucked. I don't know, a herniated disc, whatever. So the next following days, next day comes and it's leg day, and I'm used to, this is when I was strength training. I was used to lifting heavy ass weight. I was like, I wasn't bodybuilding training per se. I was more strength training, and it was just like, get the weight up A to B, no matter what, just get that heavy weight up. So it was squat day, and I'm used to, back then I was used to squatting 6 plates on each side. And yeah, it like for reps. And I would wake up the next day and my hips will be sore, and I'm like, holy shit, why did I did like it was a whole thing. So then leg day comes and my back is fucked. I'm like, there's no way I could put 6 plates on the bar. I can't even put 1 plate on the bar and squat. My back is messed. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go on this Smith machine and I'm gonna put 25-pound plates on and then just go really slow. I'm just gonna do something, right? So I go on the Smith machine. I get on there 25 plates on each side, and I'm just going up and down really, really slow. And I'm like, all right, well, whatever. It's not the workout I'm used to. I'm not like, oh, I'm under this 6 plates thinking I'm gonna die. So whatever, I get through the workout and I go home. I wake up the next day. My quads have never been that sore in my life. Light bulb hits me. Light bulb comes on. What the F am I doing? I'm squatting 6 plates. My legs never get sore. Only my hips start to hurt. And I just and I just focus on the form, focus on muscle, stretching the muscle and contracting the muscle on lower weight. And boom, my quads are on fire the next day. So that changed my whole mentality about working out. So yeah, don't be afraid to try new things at the gym because at the end of the day, it's all trial and error on yourself. Like what works for one person may not work for you. And that's the fun part about the gym is you're constantly learning. There's never you're finished learning. You've mastered everything. There's no such thing. It's constant information being given to you. And you're constantly learning about yourself, your body, everything. That's what I love. I'm sorry, I kind of forgot your question at the end.
Yeah, it's all good. It's how do you respond when you see someone
Oh
else
yes,
in public that you can tell that they lift?
yes. Usually you give like the head nod to like, bro, like the like yeah, what's up? And I try to kind of go incognito. I don't like the only place I like to kind of show off, I guess you could say, is the gym, and just because I do it for myself. But if I'm going out, I'll wear like a big T-shirt or whatever. I try to be kind of incognito. But usually, like if you see someone that lifts, male or female, you kind of like give them the head nod, like yeah, what's up? Like we see, I see you. And I'll give a funny story. Me and my family were on a trip in Orlando. Went to like Universal Studios, and from the hotel you have to take this bus to get into the park. And I get on this bus, and literally it was like four other bodybuilders there, four other big dudes there, and they're with their spouse, Jack's spouse as well. And I'm like, what is this? Am I in a twilight zone? And they didn't even know each other. We just happened to all get on this bus. And next thing you know, like we're just laughing how we're all these jack dudes happen to get on this bus at one time, which is rarely happens. And we're just like all talking and laughing. So it's automatically you're in that community. Like there's no, and I know some people like there's jealousy and this and that, but I mean I think that for me there's none. Like if I see someone bigger, better than me, or they go to the gym, I'm like yeah, props, the respect, like motivation right there, absolutely. um Maybe when you're younger there's a form of jealousy a little bit. Oh, why is this guy bigger than me? And I don't know what, he's not that big, like I'm bigger than him. But as you get older, all that goes out the window, and you just form a community and you respect one and another.
Yeah, 100%. My training friends are like some of my best friends now. And it's
Yeah.
really fun. It's fun working out. It's fun getting pushed and motivated and having them say to me, hey, if you can shrug that, I'll buy you lunch. And then I shrug it and for reps, 3 sets, and they're like, they get their buddies over and they're like, how is she doing this? And it's
Yeah.
hilarious when that starts to happen, when you almost like tap into this inner fire in you, that you're stronger than you think you are. And I really needed that boost because for the whole week prior to that moment of hitting that PR and being witnessed in that PR and motivated, like you can do this. I've seen you lift for 8 months now. I needed
Hmm.
that confidence boost because the week before I was in a ton of pain. And so that's kind of like the joy that you can get when you're working out with people that you see. Like if you were to see Sergei on the street, you'd probably be like, oh my gosh, don't mess with that guy. But then in the gym, it's like you said, this beautiful community and starting with your form, going slow, lower weights. This is also something that is good to kind of add into the routine as well. So
Hmm.
let's finish things off here with Sergey. What's your favorite stack right now?
Favorite stack
Yes,
as far as over the counter products?
yes. Let's keep it natty, shall we?
Keep it natty. Um, I honestly try not to take too much things. I try to let the food um, dictate the nutrients that I take. But I do cycle on and off creatine, which is really good for muscle gain. Beet juice, I do love that before a workout. Um, healthy protein powder. I use whey, isolate whey, which we have a brand, 50% Natty brand is a great protein brand, protein powder. And that's really about it as far as over the counter supplements. And if for pre workout, either use our pre workout, or a just pure espresso.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, love it. Beet juice for everybody tuning in is like, why the heck beet juice? Is it contains nitric
Yeah,
oxide, so it just helps with your vascular system because your blood is
it
pumping through your body.
it gets, yeah. The short version is it'll get you the pumps in the gym.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Sergey, for kind of helping us, those who are maybe not hitting the gym as much as they need to kind of show that, hey, if you see a fellow bodybuilder in the gym, show up with the discipline. They're going to start to notice that, hey, you're a regular too. They might just let you in, and then you never know. You might make
The,
some new friends out of it and start to build.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no, absolutely. They will let you in and with open arms. I love to teach people that are up and coming. So never be afraid to ask anybody questions in there, especially a big bodybuilder. They love to educate and give any information that they have.
Yeah, OG biohackers. When you see a bodybuilder in the gym, they're focusing on their nutrition, they're focusing on their sleep, their recovery. They know about every peptide under the sun, and they've probably used them for years as well to get the physique that you have, which is a huge feat. So, congratulations. You've done the work, it shows. So, keep it up and, be that strong masculine man that the ladies are going to be like, oh my gosh, that guy's so strong. It's so intimidating. It was like, huh, okay, yeah, I can do those workouts too, maybe just with some lesser weights, but I can take some notes from the mindset and that drive and that push and that discipline, and then get those dopamine hits as well. And a little bit of adrenaline when you start to build that confidence in yourself and realize that, hey, you're actually stronger than you might realize you are, and to keep going and to keep working on building that muscle. Especially for ladies, you're not going to end up looking like Sergey. You'll probably look a little bit more like me, just toned but strong, more resilient, and we're seeing a lot of information on muscle mass tied to longevity as well. So Sergey, where can people find you and learn more about what you do?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. You can find me on any socials. Just search up 50% Natty, 50, the word percent, the word Natty, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. You can also go to our website. It's 50, the word percent Natty.com. You can get your protein, your creatine, you get some funny t-shirts, and our new pre-workout.
Fantastic. Maybe I'll rock one of your tank tops and t-shirts at the gym.
I'll send you some. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. And of course, what we talk about here is not medical advice. It's educational, information only. If you think you have a medical condition, you must seek the guidance of a licensed physician. But for the record, I do take notes of what bodybuilders are doing because the results work. And take this episode with a grain of salt, but I do encourage you to get to the gym, lift heavy. Don't be afraid of looking too big and getting too muscular. Muscles are hot. We're moving away from this kind of like airy fairy, if you blow, she's going to fall over. Strong, resilient, disciplined. These are all really beautiful qualities, and you're going to cultivate more confidence in yourself too. So, thanks, Sergey, for being on the show, and we'll see you all again soon right here on the School of Radiance podcast.